Hey, I'm Dr. K with the Fit and Healthy Athlete Method. And this is where I help athletes and higher performers stop the supplement and protocol collection and really go from a place where they're feeling stuck in their health and their performance to knowing exactly what they need to do very specifically for them, that then allows them to be able to thrive in their performance, their life, their career, their sport, their health, all of that. So if you find value in this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if it makes a huge difference for you and you're really enjoying it, make sure to subscribe. When I first became a doctor, and people really learned that I work a lot in nutrition, and still to this day, even, it happens all the time. I go to events or I'm out, somewhere with a bunch of people, and what do? They ask me about the next diet. They ask me about the like these particular supplements that they just bought from something on social media, right? Or they'll even ask me, like, well, what do you think, what's your opinion on this, and what do you think about this XYZ doctor who I just started following and I'm on their email list, and all of these things. It always kind of makes me giggle. But then also I usually say something along the lines of, if you were asking me what you should, or what my opinion is of what you should or shouldn't be doing, what would it look like if you were able to just know that, like, that was something that you needed? What would that look like? It would stop the guessing game, right? So, my question to you is, have you been doing this? Have you been looking at different coaches and different protocols and different programs? And maybe that's the thing that I need, or maybe that, next piece of equipment thing is what I'm going to need, or maybe it's the next diet or the next nutrition or this next, super shiny, physician, or any number of those things, right? And it's not that any one of those things won't help, right? I definitely have done the things, right? I have gone through all the supplement protocols trying to find the next thing that was going to fix my chronic stuff that I had going on, migraines and, really, really painful periods that were preventing me from being able to play sport and to show up in my life, right, the way that I wanted to. It's really tempting when you have stuff like that to want to cycle through all the different, like, nutritionists and go to the doctors and then go to the, figure out, like, oh, well, none of that's working, so maybe I need to get these new supplements, and maybe I need to go this next route, right, of the next thing that's going to help me. And this person on TikTok or social media said that this is what helped them, or your aunt or a friend was like, well, this is what worked for me, so maybe you should try that. I've done all of it. And what ends up happening is either people collect these, like, super giant, like, chests, or they have the, like, I call it the supplement cabinet that's like the death of all of the supplements that people have taken for maybe like a couple of weeks and then realize that it's not really doing anything for them, so then they stop. So do you have one of those? I'm telling you now to stop doing this to yourself. But I know why this happens, and I've been there too. And, I've done all of that. I've bought the supplements, just as I said, I've been influenced by Instagram. I've, done all of the things where I felt like there had to be something missing because I just wasn't getting the results that other people were, right? I was doing all the protocols. I was, and in my business, I was buying all of the programs and the online courses, and I had business coaches, and I had all of these things, and I was still not getting the results that other people were getting. And even though I was getting results, it just wasn't quite what I was expecting, right? And it felt so frustrating, and like I was constantly just stuck. I mean, 100% I've been there. And I also see this in people I work with all of the time. And what really needs to shift and change is, maybe there might be another protocol, right? Like, there is some marketing stuff that is good to know, or there are some nutrition things that you do need to have as an athlete. There's some foundational stuff there that we do need to have. There's certain types of equipment. There's things that we do need to have. Having whatever type of, exercise protocols that you need are very, plyometrics, or any of the number of things that you need to have. Those are all really, really important. Rest, recovery, all the things. We also need to think about the fact that, like, even though we do and potentially need those things, what really causes the shifts to change that then allow you to actually get the results that you're looking for, especially if you're feeling stuck, right? The most likely the reason why you're watching this is or listening to this is because you're feeling stuck somewhere, like you've been collecting all the things. So if that is you, then one of the things that is helpful is to shift the beliefs and to change those beliefs and the way that your subconscious mind is looking at things, right? It's creating filters, and it's the thing that this mindset stuff is the thing that everyone leaves off of the table until the very end. They're like, I will just deal with that later. And the thing though is that it's the opposite, right? It's one of the things we should be dealing with up first and foremost. And then when we've figured out that, then it allows for us to actually have the options and the resources to be able to take a step back and be like, okay, I do need this. I have all these things, but what I am actually missing now is this one piece. And so then you go out and get that one piece that you need, but we've just saved so much time and we've saved so much energy and we've saved so much money because we're not chasing after all of the things when what we all really maybe needed was first off to just change how we were kind of considering and thinking about something, and then also just getting the one thing that we needed. So one example that, I say a lot, especially if you're an athlete that also maybe is an entrepreneur or has businesses of some type, I tend to attract those kinds of people. But, have you ever wondered how, some people go from that like 100,000 to 1 million the next year, right? Their revenue is like 100K that one year. And then all of a sudden it's just like this huge boom. They figured something out and they get to that like 1 million the next year. It's like a huge change, right? I hear those stories all the time. And I also see and witness them all the time as well, and also how athletes go from, injured the 1 year to, or maybe with like a chronic illness of some type, and they just like the next year come back and they just like win all the things, right? The next year. Or they, maybe even go from not quite, making podium, year after year after year to then something just shifts and change and now they're like first. So if you're looking around you, wondering why you're still stuck here, and even after collecting the huge basket, right, of all the things, the diets, the protocols, all the stuff, there's a high probability that you already have and already know a lot of what you already need to know. You probably know everything, or you know a good portion of what you need to know. I'm going to give you one more example here in the terms of like health and wellness and nutrition, right? So like most people will say something along the lines of, well, I did this particular diet of some type and it really worked for me, but it was like really hard. It wasn't very sustainable. And I know that like I shouldn't be eating gluten. And, a lot of my symptoms, my fatigue, all of those things go away when I don't eat those things. Or like, oh, when I cut out alcohol, like a lot of my stuff goes away. Or, when I did this, one particular thing, like that really shifted and changed a lot of things for me. And then they give a slew of reasons, right? In what areas are you giving a slew of reasons for like why you're not doing the thing that did actually work really well for you, right? It's probably because those reasons are coming from some sort of belief, like, oh, it's not sustainable, or oh, it's not this, or oh, it's not that. I can't do that. Maybe that's coming from a place of like, maybe you don't feel like you deserve the performance that you want, or you deserve the health that you want and need, right? Or maybe it's that you don't feel like you are enough or you're worth having that peak performance that's sustainable in the long term of being that athlete that's like achieving incredible success for years, right? An incredibly long and successful career, right? There's so many different beliefs that can be behind that and drive a lot of that. In a lot of the progress that you can get, right? Where you can go is from harnessing what's going on in that subconscious mind. The next time you're sitting down to journal, or you've got some time where you're sitting to yourself and kind of thinking about setting some intentions of what you want, think about what beliefs might be keeping you stuck here. what do you need to learn from what's going on here? Seeing this injury or this illness as a problem allows you to then be able to say, well, what do I need to learn here that then will allow for that problem to go away? Being able to kind of walk yourself through that may actually give you some insight of where you may need to go, what you may need to learn in order to then be able to move forward. So if you'd like to learn more about how you can break through and get unstuck, head to drkirstin.com to learn how you can work with me one-on-one. And that's it. Thanks for listening, and make sure to subscribe and follow, and I will see you next time.